You're about to execute a well-planned marketing strategy for your company, but you want to make sure the designers, the copywriters, the bloggers, the strategists are all on the same page. That's where the brand script comes in. So stay tuned for that. Author Donald Miller came up with a model to develop a story that supports marketing strategy. And there are 7 parts to this story. But what makes this story really useful is how it aligns teams. When you're starting on a project, say you're developing a new website, you have several different team members involved. You have the designer, you have the copywriter, you have the strategist to help with your positioning. Of course, you have people on your own team that have views on how your business is. This brand script, this artifact that we'll talk about today and that we create, gets everyone on the same page and pointing in the same direction on the project. And it's really a very simple deliverable. The brand script is a narrative, it's a story, and it talks about the hero of the story, which is your customer. And that customer has a problem that they can't overcome themselves. You, well, you're the guide. And you, as the guide, you're authoritative, you're empathetic, you've been through this before. You can help them with their struggle. And you have a solution. And if they follow that solution, there's all these great things that happen. And if they don't, well, there's these negative side effects. So we're gonna go through in this video what the brand script looks like. The first thing you'll see is that there is a character. And this character, well, it's the hero of the story, and it's also your customer. That character is a description of who they are, a demographic profile, a type of buyer they are, the types of issues that they're facing. And in your marketing, we want to define who that ideal buyer is. What's unique about them? What is their age range in their demographic profile? We want to paint a great picture of this character as early as we can in this process. Now this character, your customer, they have a problem. And this problem is something they can't overcome on their own. Now the problem is broken down into 3 parts. There's the external problem. That's the problem itself that they're dealing with. There's the internal problem. It's how they feel inside. What are the emotions they're feeling because they have this problem? And there's a philosophical problem. Simply put, a philosophical problem can be, there ought to be a better way around this, or there should be some way I can resolve this. Defining their problem externally, how it makes them feel, and identifying with the fact that there ought to be some way to get around this is how we define their problem. Every story has a hero and every story has a guide. And as the guide, you're empathetic. You understand how they feel. You know how challenging this is for them. And you're also an authority. You've been there yourself. You've experienced the same thing. And you've solved their problem countless times. As the guide, you're going to take the hero, our customer, down a path to solve their problem. You gotta give them a plan. What is it that you as the guide want your customer to do? What is this plan? We want to make it fairly simple. Now the plan is typically your main solution. Sure, you offer lots of different services. You have lots of different solutions. But for the sake of this initial brand script, it's your main solution. What does that look like? And when you have a plan, you need to call them to action. How am I going to get the hero, our customer, to take action? And that's where we write the calls to action. And there are 2 types of calls to action. There are direct calls to action and transitional calls to action. A direct call to action is very simple. It's buy now, or call now, or register now. Those are very direct. Transitional calls to action put an intermediate step. In many services businesses, especially those with long sales cycles, you're likely going to have a transitional call to action. That's going to be to opt into for something they can download, or schedule a consultation, which would lead to some form of deliverable, which would lead to some form of proposal, which would then lead to them potentially becoming a client or a customer of yours. That call to action is key, because in the copywriting sense, we want to know what it is you want your ideal customer to do. And we want to write really good copy for that, whether it's on the website or in some other areas like ads. What are the stakes here? If you call them to action and they decide to work with you, what are the benefits? and you come up with a series of successes. All the great things that will happen from working with you. What are the benefits of the hero following you as the guide and doing what you're calling them to do? Also, if they choose to take a different path, they don't go with you, they go a different direction. What are some of the consequences of the decision? Now you'll notice on this sheet that we're going through, successes there are several, and failures, well, the tragic results there are only a few. And the reason for that is whenever you're writing copy and you're creating a narrative, you want to focus more on the successes and you want to treat the negatives kind of like pepper. You only want so much pepper, not too much. Too much, it's overwhelming. Same with failures. If you have too many in there, it's just doom and gloom. So that's it. That's a brand script, and that's what we create at the beginning of every single one of our projects. And we work directly with our clients to help them through this process. Some of our clients say it feels like they're going through a therapy session, and when they're done, they feel really great about how they position their business. I appreciate your time today. I make videos like this all the time, sometimes on marketing and business development, other times on personal development. If you like what you saw, I appreciate a thumbs up. If you have other comments on how you do a brand script, put them in the comments below. I always appreciate the feedback. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.